I'm going to jump right into our discussion. For those of you, many of you know, perhaps some of you do not, but working on a documentary. The name of the documentary is called Color, and it is a documentary that presents race in a different light than what most people have been exposed to. It presents race as a social construction, and what I mean by that when I say social construction is a construction is something that's created. And the argument of this particular documentary is just to convey to people that race is basically it's a myth. It is a type of mind trap. It was something that was created to divide people, to control people. If you look at this face, you'll see it looks kind of strange and odd, but you can see the presence of the stereotypes of the three foundational races. The Africoids, you see the dark skin and the full lips. The Caucasoids are what we as Americans consider white people, the colored irises. And then the Mongoloids, what many people may consider Asian. You'll see the Asian eye, the shape of the eye is different than other quote unquote races. The top right of this particular picture, you'll see kente cloth, and kente cloth actually has meaning and symbolism to it, and this one particularly means to be exploited. Of course, we see that connecting that artistically with race, and the American flag on the left, meaning that this story is from an American context. So basically trying to bring a new conversation to race, basically showing people that this concept of race is a myth, is something that has divided us more so than anything else. And if we desire to destroy racism, we have to challenge and understand how this concept of race has been constructed. So you'll see a series of these. Let me jump into the first one. I want to share this with you. Some time ago, there was an awesome, what I felt was a great ad done by Cheerio commercial, and it was this beautiful young girl, as you can see here in this particular on your screen. It's this beautiful young girl right here, and she was depicted in this commercial with her quote unquote biracial parents. She had a what we may call a black father and a white mother, and it was a bunch of controversy about this, and I applauded the Cheerios, the company, for doing this, because at the end of the day, this is the reality of our American culture. Why is it so shocking to see a person who looks like this man or a woman who looks like this man? It's a lovely couple, and this is a beautiful young girl, and her being biracial has nothing to do with how beautiful she is, and shouldn't be a big deal that people who apparently look different. Now, the point that I'm making is this concept of race is what makes this a controversy. The reality is, what is any different from this family than your family? Okay, nothing. The only thing that makes it a controversy is nothing more or less than this concept of race that we use to interpret this to be a problem. But at the end of the day, you have three human beings: one mother, one father, and a child, period. This is amazing because in this young girl's life, we see the reality of this young girl. These are her biological parents, her father and her mother. And the sad thing about the country that we're living in and this concept of race is this young girl, within the culture that she is living in the United States of America, is going to have to select what she chooses to be. Are you going to be black? Are you going to be white? Are you going to be mixed, biracial? And it's a shame that we live in a country that forces us to make a selection as to what race we want to belong to, when at the end of the day, all of us are Americans. All of us are human beings. So the overall argument and the context and the content of Color is to do nothing more or less than to really bring this to the forefront of our consciousness, to show us that if we kind of take this concept and understand the fact that race is a social construction, it will help us to understand what's more important. And what's more important is not the fact that I'm black, that I'm white, that I'm Hispanic, that I'm Latino. But what's most important is, number one, I'm a human being. I'm a child of God. Number two, I'm just an American. Now, what's amazing about this story is a person that all of us know. Uh, I guarantee you know this person. At one point in his life, was forced to deal with the same issues this young girl, and that is our president, President Barack Obama. Now here he has a what we would consider a white mother from Kansas, a black father from Kenya, and at a time in his life he had to select what he wanted to be. And to me, that's a shame. I, to me, it's a shame that any person who is considered biracial is put in that predicament to have to choose what they are. When at the end of the day, who we were was determined before we even came to this planet. And the person that all of us are, we're all children of God. And I hope that in this particular presentation, Kolor Struck, and the content of this great documentary, that hopefully we can have a better understanding of this myth called race. That at the end of the day, there is only one race, and that is the human race. I thank you for your support and for your time. You can keep up with us by going to kolorstruck.com. You can register there, be on our email list, and I'll give you updates as we continue to progress about the release of this awesome film. Thank you for your time, and I appreciate your prayers that I'll do the same for you. Till next time, be blessed. Peace.